Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your shortcut to getting really well informed, packed with surprising facts and insights picked just for you. Today, we're diving into Carley Fortune's newest novel, One Golden Summer. It just landed on May 6, 2025. So our mission here is to, really unpack this book. We want to go beyond just a summary. We'll explore the setting, the characters, how the plot moves, and those core themes that seem to be clicking so strongly with readers. And it's all coming straight from the sources you gave us.
Okay, so let's set the scene a bit. This one's a standalone sequel,
Right.
So you can jump right in, even if you haven't read her big debut, Every Summer After.
Yeah, exactly. But it definitely brings us back to that nostalgic lakeside world she does so well.
We're back in Barry's Bay, Canada, which is described as, well, more than just a place, right?
Absolutely. It's painted as this hub of memories, transformation, and that sunshine-soaked romance vibe. And what's really interesting is how the setting itself, it's not just scenery, it's almost like a character representing Alice Everly's a forgotten self, you could say.
Fortune uses these familiar spots not just for nostalgia, but as triggers. Triggers for Alice to face parts of her past she's kind of pushed away.
And Alice is our main character.
She is. Successful commercial photographer in Toronto. But initially, pretty burnt out, emotionally kind of distant, very focused on her career.
And she goes back to Barry's Bay because...
That's a big reason, yeah. Her grandmother, Nan, who she clearly loves, breaks her hip. That's the catalyst.
So this isn't just any lake cottage she's going back to.
No.
Yeah?
It's the cottage. From her youth.
And it holds special significance, something about a photo.
Exactly. It's where, when she was a teenager, Alice took this really defining photograph, iconic image, 3 teens in a yellow speedboat.
Wow.
And that photo, well, it pretty much launched her career.
So the place itself is tied to her identity as an artist. And Nan, you mentioned her grandmother.
Yeah, Nan sounds wonderful, portrayed as really resilient, deeply supportive.
So Nan's hip breaking pulls Alice back. How important is that multi-generational bond, especially with Nan, for Alice's whole journey in the book?
Oh, it's absolutely foundational.
Yeah.
Nan isn't just like a plot point to get Alice there.
Right.
She's this warm, steady anchor. Her presence gives Alice the emotional safety net she needs to even start looking at her past, and the choices that led to her burnout.
So Nan provides that grounding.
A quiet but really deep source of healing and encouragement, too.
Okay, so Alice is back at the lake, maybe expecting a quiet retreat.
Yeah.
But things take a turn.
A very unexpected turn, yeah. This is where Charlie Florek comes back into the picture.
Charlie, the boy from the iconic photograph.
The very same one. He reappears, and now he's working as this quite flirtatious handyman.
No way.
Yeah, and he happens to be refurbishing Nan's cottage.
Talk about convenient. Or fated, maybe.
Right. So there's a sort of chance meeting amidst boat repairs and maybe some lingering looks. It quickly grows.
Okay.
Starts as this playful friendship, but it deepens pretty fast into real emotional intimacy, especially as they start ticking things off this summer bucket list they make together.
The summer bucket list. Classic.
Totally. It feels very organic how they reconnect.
So it sounds like that classic summer fling setup, but it actually evolves into something more, a real romance.
Definitely. It goes deeper than just a fling.
And through this, Alice starts finding herself again, her creativity, her confidence.
Absolutely. It's like the romance. And being back in that setting helps her rediscover not just her passion for photography, but, her creativity and confidence broadly.
Is it all about Alice's journey, though? Or do we get into Charlie's head, too? Does he have his own stuff going on under that charming surface?
Oh, yeah. The book definitely delves into his side, too. What's great is that Charlie, despite that charm and flirtatiousness, he's dealing with his own insecurities.
Okay, good. Adds depth.
Totally. Fortune doesn't just make him a plot device for Alice. She shows his vulnerabilities, which makes him feel much more real, more nuanced than just the charming handyman.
So it's not just a one-sided growth story?
Not at all.
Yeah.
It adds this layer of realism, showing that growth happens for both people in a connection.
So they're both really seeing each other, which kind of brings us back to Nan and that family bond you mentioned.
Yes,
With Nan giving her blessing, essentially their bond gets stronger. Described as healing, nostalgic.
Deeply romantic, yeah. It really highlights that strong family element weaving through it all. Nan's warm approval and emotional support are key.
So Nan's role is more than just comfort.
Oh, definitely. Her wisdom, her quiet acceptance, it creates this safe space. Alice and Charlie can explore their feelings without, external pressure. It really grounds the romance in something deeper, familial.
Okay, so beyond the characters and the plot, which sound great, what about the core themes? What does One Golden Summer really explore?
Well, a big one is definitely nostalgia and personal rediscovery. Alice going back to Barry's Bay is huge.
Right.
And Fortune apparently uses these really vivid sensory details in the lake, the cottage, to make that nostalgia feel almost tangible, like you, the reader, feel it too.
So it's not just looking back fondly.
No, it's more active. It's like the past forces Alice to confront her present, which is kind of unfulfilling despite her success. She has to rebuild.
So nostalgia becomes a tool for change.
Interesting. And then you mentioned healing and family bonds. We talked about Nan, but how else does that play out?
It's woven in beautifully. That relationship between Alice, Nan, and even how Charlie fits into the Bay community, it provides this foundation of warmth, emotional richness.
So it's not just about the couple.
Right. It shows how family ties, even the ones maybe we take for granted sometimes, can be these incredible sources for healing, for self-acceptance.
Makes sense. And then there's the romance itself, the friends to lovers aspect.
Ah, yes. Always a fan favorite. And it for good reason.
Absolutely. That slow burn can be so satisfying. What makes the chemistry here feel, as the reviews seem to say, earned?
It sounds like it's the way Fortune builds it, slowly. Through them sharing vulnerabilities, small, specific acts of kindness, and apparently great banter.
Banter is key. Totally. So their intimacy feels really genuine, really deserved, not just, plot convenience.
So the big picture themes are more than just romance.
Oh, yeah. The sources really point to emotional healing, creative revival, and that really profound power of feeling truly seen by someone else. Universal stuff, really.
Beautifully put. Okay, so with all that depth, how did the critics react? What's the reception been like?
Pretty positive, it seems. Publishers Weekly called it a treat. They highlighted the well-earned chemistry and said the romance was well-paced.
Well-earned chemistry, that suggests real character work.
Exactly. It implies she really invested in their emotional connection before just jumping into the physical stuff, which makes for a really satisfying read in romance.
Makes sense. What about Booklist?
Booklist praised Alice's growth arc, and they also highlighted the emotional payoff between Alice and Charlie.
So it delivers on both the personal journeys and the romance.
Seems so. It suggests the book succeeds on multiple levels.
And Stacey Alessi from BookBitch.com.
She pointed out the atmosphere, the sun-slanted days, but also the heartfelt connection, and importantly, a satisfying conclusion. Sounds like a feel-good, immersive read.
Definitely sounds like one to savor. And Goodreads reviewers, often a good gauge of reader sentiment.
They really seem to love it, calling it a perfect summer beach read. And one even called it a love letter to memory, grief, and healing.
Wow. Grief, too. So it's not all light and fluffy.
Apparently not. It suggests there's real emotional depth alongside the warmth and romance, a broad appeal.
Okay, so summing it all up, why should you, our listener, pick up this book based on what we've discussed?
Well, the source is painted as this really heartfelt beach read, full of sincerity, warmth, just a story that feels good, And
it offers that nostalgic escape, right? Back to simpler summers, lake memories, if you like that vibe.
Definitely evokes that feeling of stepping back in time. But crucially, it's also a character-driven story. It digs deep into love, healing, and that powerful feeling of being truly seen. It's more than just a romance.
Right. It's got layers. So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's clear One Golden Summer isn't just about finding love, but about finding yourself again, reconnecting. And it leaves us with something to think about, maybe for you to ponder. How might revisiting places from your past or reconnecting with people from different times in your life, how might that reveal surprising things about who you are now, or maybe even lead you down unexpected new paths?
Yeah, it's a great question. What old memories might actually hold keys to your growth today? Or unlock future discoveries? It's a good reminder, isn't it? To reflect on nostalgia's power and how those early experiences keep shaping us, maybe in ways we don't always realize. How they might still be guiding where we're headed.